Hello guys, I'm back again with the question answers of chapter Indigo by Louis Fisher. Question number 1. Why is Raj Shukla described as being resolute? Or how did Raj Shukla establish that he was resolute? Raj Shukla has been described as being resolute because he did not give up in spite of Gandhiji's inability to accompany him to Champaran to see the rampant oppression being suffered by the sharecroppers. Instead of returning, he followed Gandhiji patiently on all his prior commitments till he finally agreed. Next question. Why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant at Rajendra Prasad's house? Rajkumar Shukla was a familiar face for Rajendra Prasad's servants as he often visited their master. Since Gandhiji was in his company and was dressed up simply like an ordinary person, they mistook him to be yet another humble and modest peasant. Next question. Why could Gandhiji not accompany Shukla to Champaran immediately? List the places that he visited between the first meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. Gandhiji couldn't accompany Shukla to Champaran immediately due to certain prior engagements. He was expected in Kaupur and he had to visit many parts of India, after which he returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. It was only after his visit to Calcutta, Patna, Muzaffarpur that he visited Champaran. Next question. What did the peasants pay the British landlords as rent? What what did the British planters now want instead and why? What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo? The peasants paid the entire harvest of indigo produced in 15% of their land as rent to the British landlords. The British planters now wanted monetary compensation for releasing this land because with the production of synthetic indigo, the prices and demand of natural indigo was bound to fall sharply. Next question. Why did Gandhiji agree to the planters' offer of a 25% refund to a farmer? Why did Gandhiji agree to the settlement of 25% refund to the farmers? Gandhiji's real motive was to put an end to the fear that had been root cause of victimization of the poor croppers. This arrangement was a moral victory for the farmers and signaled the surrender by landowners who were otherwise thought of as unchallengeable. Next question. How did the Champaran episode change the plight of the peasants? How did Gandhiji help the peasants of Champaran? The Champaran episode released the peasants from the clutches of British landlords and made them aware of their rights. Apart from getting back 25% of the compensation money, the episode also marked the beginning of transformed life for the poor and exploited. Next question. Why do you think Gandhiji considered the Champaran episode to be a turning point of his life? Gandhiji considered the Champaran episode to be a turning point in his life because it established the efficacy of non-cooperation as a means of fighting injustice. Besides, it successfully initiated the large latent courage in the seemingly meek and mute Indian masses. Next question. How was Gandhiji able to influence lawyers? Give instances. Gandhiji was able to influence lawyers by sincerity of purpose, convincing arguments, and a logical approach. He chided them for overcharging the peasants, encouraged them to court arrest for their cause, dissuaded them from seeking Mr. Andrews' help in their battle against the British, and encouraged them to self-reliant. Next question. What was the attitude of the average Indian in smaller localities towards the advocates of home rule? The Indian in smaller localities found it hard to believe that the British could be overpowered at home and rule could be realized one day. They dreaded the wrath of the British, and hence few dared to support or provide shelter to the advocates of Home Rule movement. Next question. How do we know that ordinary part to be contributed to the freedom movement? Ordinary Indians like Raj Kumarshukla and other Champaran peasants contributed to the freedom movement in equal terms as the national leaders. The victory of civil disobedience movement would not have been possible without their unconditional support and active solidarity. Thank you everyone. This was the part of Indigo part 1 and I will be soon uploading part 2. Please like, share and comment on my videos. Thank you everyone.